start our topic, let's have a little fun fact about rocks or stones. And after that, we will discuss our objectives in this topic. So, this is an example of a natural stone. It is not just a beautiful material, it is also an incredibly fascinating, and it is formed over hundreds of thousands of years through a process of heat and pressure deep within the Earth's crust. This is a process creates a unique and patterns colors in each pieces of stone. This stone is made by truly one of a kind. That's our fun fact for our stones. So now, we will proceed with art of meaning of rocks, the three different types of rocks, and rock cycle will be shown in this topic.
Good afternoon, my name is Althea, and welcome to the fascinating world of geology. Don't you know, a rock is a naturally occurring solid aggregate of one or more minerals? The aggregate minerals forming the rocks are held together by chemical bonds. Grains can be different in color, textures, and sizes. Geologists group rocks into three categories based on how they form: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. Do you know? Petrology is the scientific study of rocks, and petrologists classify rocks based on their formation process. Let's explore. Let's start with igneous rocks. What is igneous rocks? Igneous rocks are formed from the cooling and solidification of magma or lava. They can originate from volcanic activity or the slow cooling of magma deep within the Earth's crust. Do you know that igneous rocks have two main types? Let's explore them. Intrusive rocks, also known as plutonic rocks, are formed when magma cools and solidifies beneath the Earth's surface. This process takes 2,000 to million of years, resulting in rocks with large crystals. On the other hand, the second type of igneous rocks is extrusive rocks, also known as volcanic rocks, are formed when magma cools and solidifies above the Earth's surface. This process happens quickly, resulting in rocks with small crystals. In conclusion, rocks can be classified into different types based on how they form. Understanding difference between intrusive and extrusive rocks helps us appreciate the complex geological process that shape our planet.
So, igneous rocks can be classified based on composition. So, the first composition is felsic. Felsic is a category of rocks characterized by their high silica content and abundance of light-colored minerals like feldspar and quartz. They are typically light in color and have lower densities than mafic rocks. And their primary rocks is rhyolite and granite. The next is mafic. Mafic is a type of rock rich in magnesium and iron-bearing silicate materials, giving them a dark color. So the primary rocks of mafic is basalt and gabbro. The next is intermediate. Intermediate is a gray in color and contain equal amounts of minerals that are light and dark color. So the primary intermediate rock are andesite and diorite. So the last one is ultramafic. Ultramafic contains low silica content and commonly found in mantle. And the primary rocks is gomatite and peridotite. So igneous rocks can also be classified in texture. So the first texture is aphanitic. Aphanitic is a fine grain and hard to see or low visible crystals texture. So the example of it is basalt, andesite, and rhyolite. So the next texture is phaneritic. Phaneritic is a coarse grain and easy to see crystal. So the example of this is granite and diorite. So the next one is porphyritic. Porphyritic is containing distinct crystals or crystalline particles embedded in a fine-grained ground mass, and there are two distinctive crystal sizes, small and large. So the next is glassy. Glass is the rock appears like natural glass with an amorphous, unstructured appearance. And the example of this is the obsidian, a volcanic glass. The next is pyroclastic. Pyroclastic is composed of pyroclast, and pyroclasts contain crystal and crystal fragments and a volcanic glass fragments.
Sedimentary rocks provide information about surface conditions that existed in the Earth's past. As the name suggested, formed from the built-up sediment, that means they form over time on the surface of the Earth. Sediments, particles of sands, shells, pebbles, and other fragments of materials accumulate in layers and over a long period of time harden into rocks. Three types of sedimentary rocks. The first one is a chemical, formed when dissolved mineral precipitate from a solution. One of the examples of a chemical is a halide, formed when a body of seawater becomes closed off and evaporates. The second one is organic, rocks formed from the accumulation and lithification of organic debris, such as leaves, roots, and other plant or animal materials. One of the examples of organic is a coal, composed of organic matter in the form of plant fragments. The last one is a clastic sedimentary rocks, formed from accumulating clasts, fragments of rocks and minerals, ranging in sizes from a less than micron to as big as an apartment block.
Processes that occur to form sedimentary rocks. First one is erosion. Erosion is the broken down materials are worn away and transported by transporting agents such as wind or water. While weathering is a term which describes the general process by which rocks or minerals are broken down at the Earth's surface, like water, ice, acid, salt, plants, animal, and changes in temperature. They are all agents of weathering. While compaction, this occurs when particles or sediments are pressed together, reducing the pore space between them. And deposition, the process in which the sediments are deposited or drop off in a different location. Last but not the least, cementation, the hardening and welding of compacted sediments. Here are the types of classic sedimentary rocks. First one is deposition, next one is compaction, and last is cementation.
Metamorphic rocks started out are some other type of rock but have been substantially changed from their original igneous, sedimentary or earlier metamorphic form. Formed when rocks are subjected to high heat, high pressure, hot minerals, rich fluids, or more commonly, some combination of these factors. We know that there are two types of metamorphism. The first metamorphism is contact metamorphism. Contact metamorphism mainly by heat due to contact with magma. And the second metamorphism is regional metamorphism due to change in pressure and temperature over large region of the rock. Metamorphic rock colligation. Colligation refers to the replicated layering in metamorphic rock. Each layer can be seen as sheet of paper or over a meter in thickness. Colligated metamorphic rocks have a layered or a banded appearance that is produced by exposure to heat and direct pressure. Non-colligated metamorphic rocks, no layers or band pressure.
Why does this topic matter? And why are rocks important? Because rocks are the foundation of the earth. Everything on the earth's crust, including mountains, valleys, and the ground we walk on is made of different kinds of rocks. They form the base of all landforms and are part of the planet's natural structure. It helps us understand how nature works. Studying rocks helps us learn about Earth's history and the processes that sedimentary rocks. Scientists can discover what our Earth look like millions of years ago, rock also help us understand earthquakes, volcanoes, and plate tectonics. It, it has practical use in our everyday lives. Rocks and the minerals they contain are used to make buildings, roads, jewelry, electronics, and even toothpaste. Without rocks, many industries like construction, mining, and manufacturing would not exist.